Hello and welcome to SHRP Talk, the show by washed-up athletes for washed-up athletes looking to be their best self. On today's episode, Jaden and I dove deep into his diet, how it's changed over time from his high school and college days to where he's at now, just through a lot of experimentation and learning from good resources, just applying a more whole foods diet, as well as just experimenting and seeing what foods work best for him and what he reacts to better and how that's changed over time based on some trial and error. We dive into what his eating schedule looks like, the spacing, how he feels around running, and the practical meals and foods that he's consuming on a daily basis and the why behind those choices. So just a great deep dive into kind of a detailed analysis of why he eats what he eats, and we have some good back and forth on our experiences, some of the similarities and differences in our diet, whether that's amount of calories, amount of protein, carbs, number of meals. So just a great contrast and great discussion showing there's multiple ways to do it. There's not one right way, but maybe just an insight into some practices and some thoughts that you can apply into your own diet. And yeah, just knowing that there's not a perfect one-size-fits-all solution, but just through continuously experimenting and seeing what works best for you can definitely elevate your life, your performance, and just your overall health. So thanks for tuning in and hope you enjoy. Before we get rolling with today's episode, I want to take a minute to tell you about SHRP Training. Snyder Health, Recovery, and Performance Training is designed for former college athletes to improve their physical, mental, and spiritual health. For only $12 a month, you can choose a training plan that is catered to your needs, interests, and goals, with new programs delivered each month through the Team Builder app. You'll also receive 24/7 messaging and feedback from coaches, access to an exclusive Discord to continually learn and be encouraged by others, a 20% discount on Thorne supplements, and access to the Sharp Edge, the ultimate guide to upgrading your diet, sleep, and life. Iron sharpens iron, so let us help you become your sharpest self. Now let's go. What'd you eat for supper?
My staple, new ground beef, pecorino, Romano. I've been doing a third of a pound instead of a half a pound recently.
You still get it from Thousand Hills?
I do.
Did you see they raised their prices?
See, I think if you were subscribed, it didn't change. So
I just reactivate an old subscription because it works.
It stayed for me, but then the coupon code I always use didn't work last time.
Yeah.
But they love advertising that coupon code, so I don't know if they just deactivated it but it's all over like their Instagram and stuff. I don't know. But yeah, I still do that. So I did third of a pound with pecorino, and then I typically do an orange, a quarter of a pineapple, a piece of sourdough with some blueberry chia jam that I make. And then I make like a smoothie with an assortment of things. Like I'll do chia flax hemp protein powder with pomegranate cranberry juice, and then some broccoli. So not a ton necessarily. It's probably about 1,000 calories. It's my smallest meal. But yeah, just trying to get some quick carbs because it's usually after my workout. Quick protein, easy protein. Normally I have the beef already made and can just throw it in the microwave. So yeah, pretty easy.
What you put the cheese on it? What else? Do you do any sort of sauce? Do you do the buffalo one still?
I don't do sauce unless I'm feeling like I want to mix it up. Normally I season it quite a bit. The beef, I'll throw like chili powder, onion, garlic, black pepper, and then I'll throw some turmeric in it. But
yeah, I'll do the same, but I need a little something. I'll do some Primal Kitchen, one of their barbecue variants, just
Yeah.
to give it a little something. But yeah, I didn't season it a lot right away, but I've definitely been doing that more. A lot of those same ones, and makes it a little better. I would prefer to eat it right away, but I always make it with my eggs during the day just for convenience. And so it never tastes quite as good as it probably would, but it's still solid, but just saves you so much time when
Mm-hmm.
you already got the stove hot and cast iron hot. Just throw it on there. And the eggs taste really good after cooking it, and all the fat, the
Mm-hmm.
juices, some of the bacon juices.
Yeah. I mean, ideally, I normally do smash burgers and not ground beef, but I do ground beef for like the second or like the reheated one, just because it's faster to make, and I don't think there's much of a difference between reheated smash patty and reheated ground beef. So, but yeah, that original smash patty is always better than reheated ground beef.
Yeah.
But
Still good. Gets you what you need.
what else
I
do you
wonder
have
how
with
many
your supper?
um usually do pineapple for fruit with that one. And then so I don't like snack or eat any honestly anything that's not really whole foods during the day, but that's the one meal that just because the ground beef isn't as good that I'll just do a little something with it. So we had some cookies at home, so I had a cookie, but occasionally I'll do like, you know, popcorn or a few chips. Try not to get too crazy with it, but that's kind of the meal where I let the hair down a little bit. So usually half a pound of ground beef. I'm thinking about doing the 90-10, just sucking it up and going a little leaner. Let's just get them to sponsor so we don't have to pay for it.
For
I'm
real.
gonna hit them up. I'll hit them up. Shout out Thousand Hills. Starts here. Um, but yeah, I might bump it up because I think it's like close to probably 35 to 40 grams, half a pound. But it'd be nice to maybe bump that up a little bit. But just do that with some pecorino cheese, a little sauce, a little pineapple. Call it good. Because I don't do quite as big of meals as you, just because I eat a little more frequently and a little smaller portion sizes. So it's probably, I mean, it's probably 600 to 700 calories. But because how many you do like 3,000 ish calorie meals, or what's that look like?
Depends on the day. On harder days like today, I'll get anywhere from 3,800 to 4,000 total. So I'll probably go, let's see, probably like 1,300, 1,100, 1,000, and then like a 500 around the workout. So I'll do
What kind
like,
of what's your daily calorie burn? Like active?
I estimated around 3,500, 3,600.
How many of that active? Do you know?
My Garmin usually estimates around 1,000 to 1,300, but I think that's an overshoot a little bit. But I don't know. I've messed with some equations that like Andy Galpin's thrown out there, and I think it's probably around 3,600. But
Yeah.
I try to just like see what the scale is doing and see what my body's reacting to, and try and estimate based on that too. But it's hard to know because like with the stuff like 80/20 beef, you don't really know how much of that fat is staying in the meat and stuff like that. So it can be hard to be super exact, but
Ballpark it.
yeah.
Yeah, I try
But
and
yeah.
shoot for. I mean, I base it more off protein than calories, but I try and shoot for 200. But I know it's probably a little less than that because I would shoot for body weight, but I feel like it's always a little less maybe than what you think with like cooking foods, like what you said. Um, yeah, I don't know. But more often than not, is it the same stuff every day, like meal
Yeah, I'm
timing
super
and
consistent.
foods? I wonder how many
I
people are same stuff like us versus mixing it up every
Emily's
day.
not. Emily does like 3 or 4 day, like, um, kind of makes 3 or 4 servings of something at once, and then she'll keep 1 or 2 meals the same, but she definitely mixes up at least one meal, whether that's like
Yeah,
a burger bowl or some sort of just hash. But
yeah,
I I doubt many people are the same 3 meals every day. But I don't know. I just found that if you find 3 meals that you really enjoy and really look forward to, that it's really easy to just keep doing the same thing. And if you do get burnt out, I think just mix up, like throw in something like a sauce or like something to mix it up a little bit. But I don't think you have to necessarily completely change the whole thing.
yeah. And it's not always about enjoyment. Like I'd say 4 of my 5 meals like taste really good. Like morning smoothie is really good, and like the yogurt bowl and a good omelet. The beef has gotten a little old. I used to mix that up. I used to do kind of like Emily, like I would do some sort of chicken something for 3 days and then beef something 3 days and mix it up a little bit. But um, I think I think it was Cole who said food is not for fun or something. How did he phrase that?
I don't remember.
He said it so simply, but it's like it's just kind of a good way to think about it. Like it's more so for sustenance for the most part. With like I said, with my supper, like having a little cheat something or cheat meal off on the weekend, but otherwise just more so for fueling you and keeping you going. So I think that's kind of the benefit in keeping it consistent is what your macros and micros are for the most part. That's kind of dialed in. Whereas if it's changing a lot, might not be as much. So I can see it both ways, especially if people get sick of doing the same thing. But I feel like it's just easier to track and know where you're at, especially with the demanding workout schedule. I think it helps to be dialed. But
And I'm a
teach their
big,
own.
huge numbers guy. So I use Chronometer. Also need them to sponsor, but I just I basically put everything that I eat in there in a day, and I figured it out so that I make sure that I don't have any macro or micronutrient deficiencies, and make sure I'm hitting my boxes. I'm making sure I'm getting at least 150 to 200% of each mineral and vitamin. And honestly, if I check all those boxes, I can feel pretty good that I'm gonna feel good. I'm gonna sleep good. I'm gonna perform well. And then everything there's always things that come up. Like we had a bake off yesterday with the PT class, and there was like 15 students that brought their best bake item, and we had to try all of them. So it's things like that. That's
What was
like,
the best?
oh, there was a maple chai cinnamon roll that was so good.
Oh, I don't even know what that is, but it sounds good.
And then there was a blackberry lemon cake that was really good. There was some sort of pear dessert, but she like made the homemade ice cream with it, and it was really good. And there was like an oatmeal cream pie that was homemade that was really good.
Sheesh. So these were
And there were
like
like
desserts. These weren't.
lemon cupcakes. There was snickerdoodle cookies. There was like 3 different chocolate chip cookies. There was it was awesome. And then we had a front desk lady retire, so we had cake the same day. And the day before, they brought us cupcakes for her as well. So it was like literally 2,000 calories of sweets just built into 2 days. So it's like
Yeah.
you can't account for those things really. And I'm
Yeah.
I'm not gonna eat less of what I have planned because I know that that's fueling me in the right minerals and vitamins. And I'd rather just have a surplus for a day. Because like to gain a pound of fat is 3,500 calories. So right, if I eat 1,000 calorie surplus, it's not going to kill me in one day. So yeah, I picked out. I had one of everything. You have to be selective, or you have to be true to the process and find the right one, right? I could have had like 4 of those maple chai cinnamon rolls, but man, they were good.
I think that's where it helps to be dialed in most of the time. So when stuff like that comes up, like there might be a little bit of guilt, but other than that, just kind of let the hair down a little and just be like, yeah, I've been a good boy. I can treat myself a
And
little bit.
that's why I run, right? Like that's just a fuel source. So there's just good carbs that I'll use for
Oh yeah,
my run later. I ran 6 miles last night. So I was like, oh, I'll just use that
just
as
vibing.
fuel. But
Do
yeah.
you normally have a built-in like cheap meal or day plan during the week, or just when stuff like that comes up?
Me and Emily kind of play it by feel. We'll do something if we're craving something, but it's not necessarily built in for a certain day of the week. We're both pizza holics, so we'll probably get either a frozen pizza or there's a good pizza place nearby that we'll do probably once every 2 weeks or so, but not really during the week anything planned. Yeah, I'd say we play it by feel and reward ourselves when we have a hard week of school or something like that, but got to find some little things to motivate you and keep you going. Do you still vibe with like some crumble cookie, or what's your?
I had that for a phase for a while. I would do that like every week. That was kind of my cheat meal, but and then it was also, I mean, in Dallas it was Raising Cane's once a week. Get the box combo, couple sauces. So that was mine for a while. I think I did that one day a week. I kind of lined up with my plasma days. I would treat myself after plasma, so I'd do that after one, and then I'd do like Baskin Robbins ice cream or Dairy Queen ice cream after the other. But right now it's usually just Saturday. I'll pig out with something. But usually there's something going on anyway, or eating out somewhere with friends or family. So kind of works nicely. But if not, I'll do like for sure Dairy Queen ice cream. With man, I wish there was a Cane's, but kind of like Slim Chickens. I feel like is a good alternative. But otherwise, just eating out somewhere are a little different because I really don't at all during the week. I for that supper a little bit, like I said, having a little something, take the edge off a little bit. But Saturday I'll pick it out a little bit.
Do you know what your total cal is roughly, or you said you go mostly by protein and then fill in the rest?
Yeah, I mean I do the same thing pretty much every day, so it's pretty close to. See, that's where I was kind of asking you again because I feel like maybe I'm underestimating it a little bit because I think it's probably like 3,300, but that might be a little low. But it's usually
That's what you eat, or that's what you think you burn?
burn
Or
is. I mean, I get about like 1,100, 1,200 active, and then plus like at least 2,000. So that's probably 3,300. And my weight usually stays pretty flat line as of now. So I feel like it's probably 3,300 in, 3,300 out, give or take a few hundred. But it's pretty balanced. But with the exception of Saturday.
but then you make up for it Sunday, don't you?
Yeah, right.
So
right.
that
Yeah.
evens out a bit. That's where I'm too. I fast on Wednesdays, so I'm I'm probably 3,800 to 4,000 on 3 of the 6 days, and then 3,400 to 3,600 on the other 3. But then throw in the fasting day, and the average is like anywhere from 3,100 to 3,400. So then I'm in a little bit of a deficit if you find the whole sum of the week.
Yeah.
It's like, what, 21,500, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll basically alternate between higher and lower, and I'll go like 100 grams of carbs higher on hotter days, and I'll go 2 meals on easier days.
How soon before and after are you eating around running?
Typically I do breakfast, lunch, and then I'll do like 60 grams of carbs before I run, and then 60 during, and then I typically eat as soon as I can after, because there's some interesting stuff coming out that, like, the closer you pair carbs with like during and post, like, you perform better in the workout, but you also get like better adaptations because your body's using those carbs, and you're able to like utilize that and then not take from your own stores. So you're not necessarily like depriving your own body of having to make up for the lack of carbohydrates or lack of glycogen stores. So the stress, I feel like, is less, and your body's better able to adapt to the stimulus. Yeah, so I'll do like 3 set meals and then 120 carbs with my workout, and kind of pair pre, intra, post with dinner.
How much protein are you getting right now?
Between
150?
150 and 170 on the harder days, and then like 130 ish, 130 to 150 on the 2 meal days. But I kind of have Saturday, I kind of eat as a hard day because it's a longer run. So I kind of have 4 bigger days and 2 not as big. So like 150 to 170 on 4 of the 6, and then 130 to 150 on 2. So maybe a little less than you, but my carbs are probably a little bit more. My
What?
carbs are
Where else
probably
do you just do a ton of fruit, or where else are you getting your carbs from?
um, whole fruit juice, honey, syrup, sourdough, jam. Um, yeah, those are the main sources.
Yeah.
I try to get 5 to 6 grams per kilogram of carbs per day.
That's probably the main difference. I don't track that at all. I mean, I do a fruit with every meal, and then I'll do like honey in my smoothie and syrup and honey with my yogurt bowl. But yeah, probably less carbs. But yeah, I would have no idea what actual number that's at. I just kind of try and prioritize it before and after working out, and then keep it pretty low the rest of the day. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's probably 60-ish grams before and after workout, and then whatever the fruit is, rest of the day, 20 to 30 grams. But works for me.
Mm-hmm.
What's what got you down the Whole Foods route? Because I feel like I took a lot of that from you, but where and when did you start applying that?
Trying to think when origin would have been. I know at South Dakota State, I still didn't. I think when I got back to Northwestern, I think my last football season is kind of when I started to take ownership of like making food and meal planning. And the first time I really like lived on my own and didn't really have a meal plan with the college, I
Mm.
felt like I actually had to make breakfast, make lunch, make supper. Um, and it really just piqued my interest because that's also kind of the time when I started to run and realized how important nutrition is for fueling stuff like that. I've always been in the supplement route, but I didn't necessarily translate over to nutrition until I'd say that time period, and then it just kind of evolved from there. Um, I feel like people like Andrew Huberman, people like Thomas DeLauer, people on social media also sparked that interest and provided some good information that I could apply and experiment with. Um, yeah, I'd say that was probably the origin. Um, and then it's just grown into something that I find a lot of pride in, and I find myself cooking more and more and exploring with different recipes. Like I said, I'm making my own jam. I'm making my own pancake recipe. I'm eventually maybe going to do some like sourdough stuff with Emily. Just trying to do stuff that is whole food and stuff that makes you feel good and you know is from a good source because you made it. I think I find pride in doing something that required work but also tastes good and something that's sustainable and that I know is from a good source. Yeah, I think it's really cool and something that can be shared and can be um, shown to others. And I think as I go forward as like a PT, I think I can definitely use what I've learned and use the information and try to help people who might be struggling with some, whether that's just like fast food addiction or whatever you want to call it. But I think there's definitely an avenue for PT to be more than just um, musculoskeletal rehab. I think it's something that can be holistic. Um, like as I get licensed and as I go into my career, I think there's room for certifications in stuff like strength and conditioning and stuff like nutrition, things I can do to continue learning and apply. So yeah, I just feel like I've learned a lot so far and I'm excited to see where I continue to go. Um,
Yeah,
hopefully someday get like a pizza oven, make my own wood fire pizza or something like that.
be sick.
Get
If
some.
you get a high protein, low calorie pizza that tastes good, like I'll be there. I'm moving in.
Well, that's the
Whatever.
thing. Once you get sourdough, you can start doing some sourdough crust and get in that realm of pizza, and then you have endless options. Once you get sourdough going, you can do a lot of good stuff. I've had a lot of unique creations with sourdough. So, have you had
Yeah.
sourdough? Are you in
Uh-uh.
that?
Never mind. I really don't even understand what it is, really, but
It's
seems
just kind of
cool.
fermented dough. So it's really just bread, but it's super fluffy and airy. And when you get a good loaf, like we have a co-op pretty close to where we live, and they bake it fresh daily, and it's super super good the first day. Um,
I believe that.
but yeah, it gets a little crunchy after about 3 days, so you got to eat it pretty quick. But that's how you know it's real. That bread that's sitting on the shelf for weeks and it looks the same as the
Looks
first day
sick.
it was there is that ain't real bread.
Yeah.
Like bread's supposed to go bad. So
Yeah. I think that's when I started cutting out like bread and buns and even like tortillas when I started to think about that more. Like we're so used to it that we don't even think about it. And it's like, wow, that's kind of weird that it, it literally doesn't go bad. But
it's like you seen the things on social media where they put like a ice cream treat on something and they leave it there for like months and it looks the exact same after like a month. It's like this is ice cream. It's at least supposed to like melt, but it doesn't move. It's I
Like
don't
a
know. There's
Oreo
some
with the
the flame
flamethrower.
crazy. Like what is this stuff?
I
I
don't
don't
know if
know.
that's supposed to happen, but man, they taste good.
They do. You were how would I swear you were eating like a row a day of Oreos at one point.
Oh yeah, like high school weight gain.
Yeah.
It was a dirty bulk, dude. I mean, they burn enough calories at that time, you can get away with it. But that
Oh
was
yeah.
my way of maintaining or gaining weight. You do some double stuff Oreos with a big glass of milk, like you're gonna make up some calories before going to bed, baby.
That
Dirty
was a good
bulk.
phase. That was a
That's a
good
good
phase.
phase.
Oreos. I was in my Skittle phase with Call of Duty. Oh man.
Like
No worries.
Warzone time, Call of Duty, or before that?
It was before that. It was like Christmas break, probably MW2 that time.
Great
That was a
time.
good
Great
time
time to be alive.
with the red chairs and man,
Impeccable vibes.
that was a time.
Um, are there anything from like high school or college or even early on in your more whole foods journey that you used to eat a lot of that you don't anymore?
I'd say early on at Northwestern when I first started to make my own meals and stuff. I had a lot of like oatmeal. I've definitely gone away from that. Um,
What's the reason for that?
I I don't know. There's some compounds in it, some like anti nutrients that I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily bad, but I've just found better sources of carbs that I think I enjoy more. So I've kind of just stayed away. Um, I think I used to do like a chicken bacon ranch quite a bit, and that's just kind of because I love bacon. I always choose beef over chicken. I don't really mix chicken in much, even though it is super lean. It's just not. It's kind of an inferior meat in my opinion, but
Yeah, I used to
I don't
mix
know. It's
chicken
hard for me to
in.
go against beef. Um,
While you're thinking, can you explain anti nutrients to me like I'm five?
I want to. I'm gonna do a quick search. I forget which ones are specifically in oatmeal. So oatmeal has phytic acid, is what it's called, and it's an anti-nutrient, so it prevents absorption of like iron and zinc and calcium. So there's ways to make that impact less. Like with certain nuts and seeds, you can like roast them, and they'll have less anti-nutrients after roasting. But I've just kind of stayed away. Um, yeah, there's just. Do you remember when Jody talked about how some vegetables have like what was her
On our podcast or a different
yeah,
title?
do you remember she leptins?
That
I
might be
think she
right. That
said
sounds familiar.
I think she said she doesn't respond well to leptins, and it's a similar thing to leptins. Um,
Is
there's
that
certain
genetic
fruit.
or is that for all people?
I That's what's so hard about nutrition is you don't really know why you have the insensitivities, but like for me personally, and you've seen this, I have struggled with allergies like since COVID.
It's crazy.
It's normally in the springtime. Um, I honestly didn't have it until COVID. I think COVID, whether it just made me more inflamed or what, but I all of a sudden would get these terrible allergies in like honestly May, June, July, and couldn't really find out why. It was triggered by some random things like sugar. I noticed was a trigger. Um, and then certain foods I would notice, like tart cherry juice would trigger me. There'd be apples would trigger me. Um, I'd get it from like strawberry every once in a while. So then I kind of connected um, these things, and I think it's like a birch pollen insensitivity. They all have a protein in them that's shared. So I've stayed away from fruits like cherries, like strawberries, like bananas, avocado, um, kiwi.
I
There's
thought you
just a
do
lot of
avocado.
no. Um,
You did for a while, didn't you?
I've gone back and forth, but I've stayed away since I have kind of narrowed it down to what I think is a birch pollen insensitivity. So I haven't had any allergies yet so far, and I've been clean since. So
Even like
hopefully that's right.
even like today, eating all those foods, you're so good.
Uh, like if I eat those foods,
Yeah, because I know it was like anything sugar for a while. So like today, when you ate that stuff, did you have anything?
like the sugar you're saying?
Yeah.
No, I have not had any sort of allergies since last year. So I don't know if like whatever my trigger is just hasn't come yet, or if I indeed did fix it and it was related to those foods and I'm less inflamed and I'm better able to combat those issues. But yeah, it's super interesting. Everybody's so unique, and it's like some people are sensitive to gluten, some don't like dairy, some just don't tolerate like leptins well. It's super interesting. Um, but you have to take a step back and look at how you feel after you eat meals, and be willing to eliminate things and try things that maybe you wouldn't have prior to try and feel better. I kind of look at the allergy thing as a blessing, because like I don't think I would have ever known that my body didn't like or didn't tolerate those fruits well. So it kind of holds me accountable. Um, but yeah, it's super interesting. I could be completely wrong. Like I could do a blood test and find out that I'm completely wrong and something else is going on. But I feel great. I haven't had anything this year, so fingers
I figured
crossed.
out function is HSA eligible. And I have some HSA funds, so but they don't have a testing center in Sioux Falls. So next time I'm in Omaha or Des Moines, I'll get that tested, and then maybe I can share my results on here and see where we're good and see where we're lacking and make some
I would
changes.
love
But
that. That'd be sick.
uh, COVID was freaky though, because I think I told you I had a really bad hives outbreak when I had COVID,
Yeah.
like all over my body, and for it was probably a few months after. I think it was gluten. Anything high in gluten, I'd get some hives that would come back, and so I was thinking for a while I was gonna have to go gluten free, but it's kind of gradually reduced over time, and I haven't had it since then. But it's so weird how does that trigger something in your body, or like was it there before, like dormant, and then it
Right.
came to life, or did it lead to something new, or is it not related at all? Like what a weird thing. Body's
Mm-hmm.
weird. But so yeah, I'll probably do function, and then I don't know if I'll, because I think it's like 500, so I don't know if I'll just do that once and then just make changes. And I think you can test it multiple times in a year, so see if I make changes and then cut it off, and
Right.
then maybe do genetic, maybe do the same thing and kind of compile those, because I think it'd be cool, like genetic kind of things not changing, that maybe like what Jody had, like things you're just naturally sensitive to, and then blood work is kind of more can fluctuate, can change rapidly for some things. So I feel like the blend of that would be sick. We're both numbers
Yeah.
guys, so being able to assess that a little bit would be cool. So yeah, maybe we'll share that at some point. And then
Yeah, I
once
think
you got us salary, we can compare and contrast a little bit.
yeah. I haven't been able to justify it yet, but the second I get the funds to do something like that, I think I'll definitely hop on and make sure
Another
a food
sponsor.
food and sensitivity test is on there as well to confirm
Yeah.
I'll put everything in writing first to see if my self experiments have been right all this time. But yeah, I don't know.
They'll have to hire you at that point.
Right.
This guy's good.
This guy's good. I don't know. I try to be super self aware of how I'm feeling, and it's a detriment at times for sure. I probably cut some things out that I don't need to, but I don't know. I feel like if you want to feel good, you gotta try and do your own experiment. I think that's why we learn science. Have independent variables, have a control, test it out.
There you go.
I'm my own randomized control trial.
Is there anything else in general you avoid? Not necessarily just because how it affects you, but like I know you've like Dirty Dozen, those kinds of foods, or anything else that you typically stay away from for a specific reason.
Yeah, so I stay away from those fruits I mentioned that are on like the birch pollen list. I if I eat the Dirty Dozen, I try to make sure it's organic. I think the only one that's on there would be blueberries, maybe that I eat, but I would have to double check. I try to buy almost everything organic as long as it's reasonable price and not just dumb. But stuff like pineapple, stuff like watermelon, like there's like a shell around it, so I don't really feel the need to buy that organic, and it's on the clean 15. So there's just certain fruits I don't feel like you necessarily need to buy organic. Like I don't think there's much of an impact, but try to do like pasture raised organic eggs. Um, Try to get wild Alaskan salmon. Um, yeah,
You
try
still
to
do
stay away
salmon
from.
bites, or do you cook salmon?
Ooh, I do. I found there's same place I get the sourdough from. They have some coho, wild Alaskan coho salmon from Troller Point, and I've been cooking 4 ounces of that with my omelet. I'll
Oh,
do 4 ounces and cook that up, and then cook the omelet. I kind of shred it, so it's like shredded salmon, and then I'll throw it on the omelet. Put some maple syrup in it, and I got kind of like the maple salmon omelet, and it's really good. I'll
I
do
like that.
so basically my lunch. This is my lunch. We talked about supper. I'll talk about lunch. We'll go backwards. Um, on my harder days, I'll do 4 ounces of salmon with 4 eggs and 2 tablespoons of syrup. Make it an omelet. Eat it up. And then I'll do my sweet potato pancakes, which are awesome.
Those are a
Um,
staple now.
oh yeah, they're a staple. Which is like half a cup of sweet potato puree. I do half a cup of einkorn flour is what it's called. It's like an ancient wheat. It's supposed to have lower gluten, so just a better
Ancient
flour.
wheat.
Yeah, it's just a
That's
better
awesome.
flour. Um, so I'll do that. I'll do 2 teaspoons of cocoa, or no, it's cacao powder. 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda, a quarter teaspoon of salt, 1 egg, 1 tablespoon of honey, 1 tablespoon of butter. Throw it on the skillet. 4 pancakes later, down the hatch. That's a lunch.
Do you cook that every day?
Not every day. No.
Okay.
I'll do that 3 or 4 times. I probably do it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, typically. And Emily has the same thing, but hers has a banana in it. Hers is like banana sweet potato. Mine's sweet potato chocolate. They're
I
really
like
good.
I like Kodiak because I can just rip a week's worth, but I know it's not as good as those.
I'd have to bring the skillet. I could bring the skillet home and make you a batch and get you hooked.
Do you
Um,
do you avoid Kodiak because of price or because of the like wheat and stuff in it?
because of the stuff in it, personally. If I can make it, I'm gonna probably
Yeah,
try to
it's
do it
fair.
myself. It's not gonna like kill you or anything, but
Yeah, I try not to get any of the flavored kinds. I feel like the regular one has the buttermilk ones have less ingredients and stuff,
yeah.
but I know there's probably a better solution, but they're
There was
just
also a weird thing. This was another different hypothesis, but kind of same. I don't know if they're related. Vanilla, like vanilla extract and like vanilla flavored protein powder. I would get these weird like bumps in my left armpit and on the back of my neck, and I kind of I thought it was related to vanilla, either vanilla or dairy, because I would get that and like it would. I didn't know if it was like a lymph vessel or what it was, but I would get these random bumps, and I correlated it with when I would try the vanilla whey or try the vanilla extract. So could be related to the birch, could be completely wrong, but I don't have the bumps anymore, and I don't eat vanilla. So interesting. Um, Another self experiment that could be
nice.
totally wrong.
Maybe you're just a total
Um,
weirdo.
I could be very wrong. Um, but yeah, it's worked out. I feel good. No allergies, no bumps. Can't complain. Love my supper, love my lunch. Shall we get to the breakfast?
Yeah,
Um,
most important meal of the day.
Breakfast, typically smash patty, third of a pound with pecorino, staple. So I get either 2/3 a pound or a pound of beef in total in a day. Um, I have a cup and a half of wild blueberries with an ounce of goji berries and 1 tablespoon of syrup. Mix it up down the hatch. Um, 2 slices of sourdough with the blueberry chia jam that I make. Super good. 4 dates with a little bit of macadamia puree. It's kind of like macadamia nut butter, but it's in like a little hatchet. So you should definitely try this. 4 dates. So peel the dates open, pour a little macadamia nut puree in there, pour a little bit of syrup. Oh, it's so good. And then put the rest of the macadamia nut butter on the sourdough. Then I put the jam on and then maybe drizzle some honey on it. Super good. So that I think that's everything.
What's your eating window? What time do you eat breakfast and when's your last meal?
Um Breakfast is usually around 7. Um Supper ideally done by 7:30, but it's been a little late lately. That's definitely something I need to improve, but my workouts have ran long, and we typically sauna on my hard days, and free parking's at 6, so we can't go until 6, and it's always like an hour ordeal. So then we get back at 7 or 7:15, and that's when I have to start making supper, and so then I'm not done eating until like 8. So not ideal, but if you want a sauna, and I'd rather sauna than eat than sauna, personally.
Yeah, it's fair.
Partly because I want to maximize the effect of the sauna, so I try to do it right after I run, because then it gets real intense. Because the sauna at the rec's not super hot, so I'm trying to already have my body warm and then get toasted in
Just
there.
go in fully clothed or like winter
There,
coat.
there was, what was it? Last Sunday, I basically did a VO2 max workout on a treadmill, like a legit VO2 max test on a treadmill, and went straight into the sauna after. Oh my goodness.
And you didn't leave.
I was in there for 12 minutes and my heart rate was at 135. I was like, I gotta get out of here. But
It's crazy.
yeah.
Do you go ahead?
I think that was my whole breakfast. I typically, so this is something I've added in just to help with blood sugar regulation in the morning, B, help with hydration. So right when I wake up, and C, kind of help with circadian rhythm, just in case I do eat breakfast a little bit later. Right when I wake up, I'll do 1.5 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, and I'll put it in probably like a 12-ounce glass of water, and I'll put some electrolytes in it too, and I'll shake it up, and then I'll have my multivitamin with that. So it's like probably 20 grams of fat with electrolytes and a
You do a multivitamin?
Like half of one.
Okay.
So basically just to ensure that I got my bases covered.
I probably need to start doing one again.
There's some multivitamins have like the methylated forms of B vitamins, because if you have the I think it's MTHR. There's a certain gene that if you have, you're not very good at methylating B vitamins. So then you're not necessarily like absorbing the B vitamins. And so the multivitamin has it already methylated. So then it's more easily absorbed. So basically I do that for, normally it's B12, I think B9, maybe B5. Those are the three. So I make sure that I have a little bit of something from, I mean, the serving size is 2 pills and I just take 1 pill and I take it from Blueprint. So, yeah. So that's like my pre-breakfast, help with blood sugar, get hydrated, get the vitamins in. Yeah.
Do you believe whole foods taste better than processed foods? Would you prefer
Absolutely. I think the more whole foods you eat, the better they taste. Like if
that's
you're eating
true, but
a diet full of processed food, you're going to prefer the processed food because your taste buds are used to the sweetness and the hyper palatable effects. But if you eat whole foods that you love and you enjoy, and then you eat processed food and you taste how fake and how like super sweet, and I don't know, it's just there's still things that, yes, I think taste amazing, right? Like you put what would be my kryptonite right now? Probably like Sour Patch Kids. Like I would love some Sour Patch Kids, but I mean, after 5, I'm probably good. Like I don't know. I've gotten to a point where I have found a meal plan that I thoroughly enjoy and I've trialed, and I would prefer eating that over 99% of processed food outside of pizza and ice cream every once in a while. But
nice.
what were you gonna say?
I mean, for me, like, yes, whole foods taste good and have grown on me, and I get like processed foods are like fake and all that. But if I could eat fast food without the price or without the health effects versus whole foods, I would choose fast food 100 out of 100 times.
Because of the taste or because of the convenience?
Taste.
Where from
I
where?
love fast food. Anywhere. Anywhere, dog. I'm just saying. But Whole Foods. We love Whole Foods. Eat more Whole Foods.
I couldn't
Fast
tell you the
food's
last
good.
time I've gotten fast food outside of like a drive-through. I can tell you. The thing is, like, there's certain fast foods like Raising Cane's I do thoroughly enjoy, but Emily doesn't. Her stomach hurts after eating canes, so we don't
It's
go
worth
there.
it. It's worth it, Emily.
Um, but if we do eat out, it's like a brunch or it's barbecue or it's pizza, or we haven't found a good Mexican in Iowa City.
It's tragic.
Um, there's one that we're looking at, but it's just super expensive in Coralville. Um, but yeah, we're not fast food goers really. We like to. She was in a baking phase for a while, and that was awesome. There was like some lemon blueberry sweet rolls and like some brown sugar pop tarts and some banana bread with maple butter, and it was really good.
Mm.
But
Mm. It's
yeah,
dangerous.
I feel like we've tried to mess with our own recipes and try out some things. Made our own pizza, made some stuff, but I can see where you're coming from. It's just
It's addicting for a reason. That's all I'm saying.
they're
Freaking
good at what
tastes
they
good.
do.
They're
They're good
very
at what
good.
they do.
And I don't indulge regularly, but I still enjoy.
Right.
Last question. If someone wanted to eat more like Jaden, where do they start? How do they start?
I would start by asking yourself what your favorite whole foods are. What are things that you could eat on a regular basis, right? We're not telling you to eat chicken, broccoli, and rice with every meal. I think it's finding the things that you truly enjoy, whether that's if that's beef, if that's fruit, if that's whatever it may be. I don't think eating should be a chore. Find a recipe, find something you enjoy to make, something you enjoy to eat. Start with one meal, start with one side dish. Start small, and just implement it over time. See the difference it makes. I would probably start with breakfast first, just because it sets you up for a good day. You can feel the impact it makes. You won't have the afternoon crash. You'll be able to sustain that energy. But yeah, I think it's truly just taking a step back, asking what can I make that's affordable, that I enjoy, that is easy, and that I can stick to. Um, yeah. Um, outside of that, it's just taking the leap. Um, it can be hard. It can be overwhelming to overhaul a whole meal plan in one go around. I think it's something people tend to try. Um, they love the 75 hard. They love the 1500 calorie diet. That's way too far below what you can sustain. Um, but yeah, I think it's finding the whole food sources that are from a good source and something you can stick to.
Bada bing, bada boom. Anything else?
Um, what do you have in your last meal?
What?
Last meal on Earth. What are you eating?
Oh, last meal on Earth? There will be some perfectly sauced Parmesan garlic Buffalo Wild Wings, traditional wings there. There will be a double fudge cookie dough blizzard there. There will be some sort of cinnamon, maybe cinnamon Pop Tart crumble cookie there. Um, I don't know what the steakhouse was called that I ate in Des Moines with Brandon, but that steak was really good with whatever sauce they had. Give me that. It's probably good for me. Some fries, some really good fries. What's
Normal
yours?
or the truffle?
Some truffle needs a little some seasoning.
Like bacon and cheese too, or are you like a loaded
Why
fries
not?
guy? Or no? Yeah.
Maybe half of them.
I'll probably go. Give me a wood fire pizza. I'll go pepperoni. I'll go hot honey. I'll go bacon. On one slice, I'll go pineapple, but not the whole thing. But it's got to be small bits of pineapple. Got to have ranch. Yeah, that'll be the main. The side, I'll go probably sweet potato fries, half sweet potato, half normal. Maybe some truffle on the normal. Maple donut. Oreo cookie dough. Ice cream. I don't know if maybe Emily's dad's steak. It's really good. I got bacon. I got ice cream. I got pizza.
I better have bacon there for mine too.
Oh, I have to have. I'm gonna go lemon blueberry pancakes with maybe just maple syrup. That'll probably be it.
I'll take some Cracker Barrel pancakes as well with mine. A little appetizer, perhaps.
Ooh, maybe Josiah's steak and their steak omelet.
Josiah Smacks.
Josiah's good.
We'll take that whole section of desserts as well.
Yeah, the Bake Off. Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, gang. Well,
yeah.
I got to go to bed. I got to get up early. Gonna go to war with Mr. Elliptical before a long day, so better sign off. Thanks for letting us all pick your brain.
For sure.
All right. Till next time. Thanks for listening to the show. If you enjoyed today's episode, leave a rating, review, or tell a friend to check us out. Be sure to follow us at SHRP_training for more content to help you be your best self. Go be great today.